guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with an exciting video that I did a few months ago where I chat about the books you're currently obsessed with. We will go ahead and chat about all of them, but before we get started, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Max Monroe. Their new book is Best Frenemies, and I actually read Max Monroe years ago and love them for just a really great contemporary romance. I actually read Accidental Attachment, which was their previous release to this one, and I really enjoyed it. And so this one's their new one where they are obviously enemies and they are co-workers, and it is forced proximity. So the heroine and the hero hate each other. They have to work with each other already, see each other every day, and she's like, I don't want to see him anywhere outside of work. Well, it just so happens that she books a vacation rental and there is some sort of mix-up, and they have to stay together for the entire week at this vacation rental. Who does not love a vacation romance where they're trying to get away but can't get away from the person that they say they hate the most? So love the setting for this one. Now, obviously, when people who hate each other are in forced proximity, have to spend a lot of time around each other, there's a fine line between hate and love. And what I love is that the last part of the synopsis says, I'm going to end up in jail, or worse, I might just give in to the insane urge to find out if his lips are really as kissable as they look. And what I love about A Hate to Love is that they just get so angry at themselves for being so attracted to the other person that it just adds fuel to the fire and much more passion between them. So I'm so excited for this release. Definitely check it out if you get the chance. And thank you so much to Max Monroe for sponsoring this video. Okay, so on my Instagram, if you're not following, it's linked down below. I asked, what book are you absolutely obsessed with right now? And I got all these responses. So grab a snack. We're gonna be here for quite a while, but I'm very excited because some of these are at the top of my TBR. Some of these I literally cannot stop talking about either, and you're probably annoyed with me for talking about them so much, and some I'm like, I don't know what this is. So the first one is Before the Sunset by Laura Pavlov, who is my absolute favorite. It actually comes out the Friday, Friday. It comes out this week. This video is going up on Friday. I'm filming this Tuesday. It comes out sometime this week. I don't remember the exact date, but this one I'm so prepared for. I don't even know the tropes, but I love that this is something that people are obsessed with right now because I really love the series. I have not given anything in the series below 4 stars. They are all small town romances. This one also has a really, really pretty purple cover that I'm obsessed with. So check this out if you like small town. Super excited too. The next one's from Christy. Christy reads a lot, which I know she loves this. That's why I actually read the prequel this week because Christy was raving about this book. It is Salt Kiss by Sierra Simone. I just read Salt in the Wound, which is a prequel, which I heard you have to read before this. It's actually free right now on Amazon. I don't know how long that'll last, but this one is a Tristan and Isolde retelling, and it's MFM, and at least the one couple is a guy who owns a sex club, and the heroine wants to be a nun, but her dad's a banker, and he wants her to marry for an alliance and marry the hero, and then the other hero is their bodyguard. So it sounds really good. I just remember that the movie I loved. I had to double check with my sister. James Franco is in the movie, and I remember watching it and loving it. So I'm very excited for this book. Absolutely at the top of my TBR. I recently got it in the mail, so I'm very excited for this one. Then we have The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Now, let me know if I have to read this because I've seen it around a lot, specifically on TikTok, but it's YA, so I haven't read it, but I've seen people obsess. I think it's like a 5-book series, but isn't it like Bones and like the CIA stuff? Like, what are those shows? Isn't it like that where it's got some kind of like suspense, but also like a kind of CIA investigation kind of thing going on to it? Because I love that, but I don't know if I would like it in a YA. So if you've read this, let me know because I'm very, very intrigued, but I've seen a lot of people obsessed with it. We have Daisy Hates, which we know I'm obsessed with. Magnolia and Daisy Hates. This one, I have read the first one of both Magnolia and Daisy, but I have not read books 3 and 4 of the series. I absolutely know I have to finish the series, but I am obsessed too. Then we have Saving Rain by Kelsey Kingsley. I'm actually gonna look this one up because I vividly see the cover, but I don't think I've ever seen what this one is about. The cover is really pretty, and I've seen a lot of people talking about it, but like I said, I don't think I've ever actually looked up what it's about because I don't ever look up what books are about. So this one actually has a 4.23 rating on Goodreads, and it says it's an emotional, gritty story about redemption, love, and an anti-hero. So his name is Soldier. He was given a second chance to do better. It says, after finding the love I never knew I deserved, I'm starting to wonder if there's still room for me to be a hero after all. Okay, we'll see. There's lots of 3 stars in here though. So have you read it? Should I read it? Let me know. This is also a video of me building my TBR and you letting me know if I should read these books or not, if they're really that good. The same person also said Home Run Proposal by Maren Moore. I've been seeing this book everywhere, and it is a baseball romance. The cover's cute. It's definitely like a unique illustrated cover that I feel like grabs people's attention because, like I said, I've seen this everywhere, and it's cute. It does have a 4.04 rating on Goodreads, so a proposal as in like I want to propose, score a home run with someone. It was supposed to go to her best friend, but it went into the hands of their older brother, who is the cocky all-star baseball captain, pitcher, player on and off the field. Okay, that sounds really good. And that sounds like something I would love, so I probably will be checking this out because I've seen it around a lot. Someone said Blood and Steel, which I don't know who this author is. I don't think I've heard of this book before. Helen Shore, I'm assuming it is fantasy. And it is 4.31. All these are already coming out like really strong with these average ratings. And women are forbidden to wield blades, but she's trained in secret her whole life. And she wants to secure her place in the elite guild charged with the protection of the 5 kingdoms. Ooh, and then she has a growing attraction to her unwilling warrior chaperone. Okay, this sounds actually really good, and I'm going to have to tell my sister about this because she loves fantasy romance. I wouldn't be surprised if she's already read it. She finds so many fantasy romances before I do because that's all she reads. She doesn't really like contemporary. Let me take a photo and send it to my sister. I just texted her. So then we have Butcher and Blackbird. I feel like I've only started seeing this like the last 2 days, and it's because the cover does not look like a romance cover, and I am like, what is this book? I don't know if it has to do with the serial killer. So again, it's gonna have a super high rating. It's 4.32 average rating, and it already has 7,000 reviews. That is amazing for a book. So this looks like a YA book to me. It kind of reminds me of the Natural series, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, but it just says it's a friends to lovers dark romantic comedy full of murder, chaos, and spice. It says every serial killer needs a friend, and there's an unlikely bond between rival murderers, and they have a friendship, and I'm assuming they fall in love. Okay, this actually sounds really good. I don't know who discovered this because it had just come out. I feel like I've just been seeing it all over the place on my Instagram and my TikTok. It came out in August, so it's about a month old. I already have 7,000 reviews. For sure going at the top of my TBR. We have the Madison Kate series. Finished Madison Kate. I really liked it. I actually like the Hades series better, and I'm very intrigued by Poison Roses by Tate James and Jasmine something is the other author. It's Why Choose, kind of mafia-esque. These were definitely fun, and the audios are really good. We have Exiled by Jessie Walker, and thank you for putting the tropes in the actual description for me. So it says age gap, hurt, comfort, by awakening, and lots of angst. You sold me on the angst part, so I'm gonna be looking this one up. One Last Shot by Nikki Castle. I'm really excited for this one. I haven't read it yet. It just came out, and I did not love book 3. It was just very spicy, and it was like a spicy good time, but books 1 and 2 were just so emotional, so I think this one doesn't have as much spice as the third one, so I will be reading this at some point, but I'm happy you loved it. Then we have Crescent City, which absolutely agree. I'm planning on rereading 1 and 2 before 3 comes out, which I'm so excited for. This is fantasy romance, Sarah J. Maas. I love it. Things We Left Behind, which I think is the third one. I have the other 2 back there, and Things We Left Behind I've seen mixed things about. I've seen some people really love it. I've seen some people not. I don't remember what my friends thought. I remember specifically asking Lacey what she thought, and now I don't remember, but it is thick in a small town. And the first one is 4 stars for me, and I'm like, do I want to read like a 600-page small town romance that's only 4 stars? So let me know if I need to read this one. Then we have Hideaway Heart by Melanie Harlow. They said it was so sweet and the ending was perfect. I have not yet read this, but it is small town. Forced proximity, like they have to stay in like a cottage together, and he's her bodyguard. Sounds like something I would love, so definitely want to check that out. We have The Brazen One by Daisy Jane, which I don't know if I've heard of this one. Let me look. Ooh, okay, so we already have a man on the cover, and I don't think I've ever heard of this. It's the Wrench Kings series. Has a 4.29 average rating, and Goldie Hawn Berry. And she was named after Goldie Hawn. A devastating trauma leaves her single, broke, and without a job. So Atticus is a 42-year-old no-nonsense mechanic. Their friends become a couple and they have to be in each other's lives. I don't know if this is an age gap or if she's his age. Grumpy is sunshine, opposites attract. It's got really good ratings. So I'll have to check that one out. Sam's Secret by Ruby Dixon, or just the whole Ice Home series in general. I started the Ice Home series. It's different than the Ice Planet Barbarian series and I did enjoy it. My library I think ran out of the audiobooks in the series, so I never continued. Carrie Soto is back, which I have not read yet. I've only read a few of Taylor Jenkins Reid's books. They just like aren't something I'm dying to read. I still have not read Daisy Jones and the Six either, though I know it's a show that people love. I haven't read that either, but this one's a tennis player. I want like just full-blown romance, so I don't reach for her books, but let me know if you like this one. Bailey Brothers series by Claire Kingsley, absolutely yes, I love this series. I've read the first 3 technically, but the first 2 are about the same couple and I really, really want to continue on. They're small town brothers. Book 2, he's so grumpy and the audiobook is so good. Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, absolutely yes. If you're annoyed with people talking about it, I'm going to talk about it all the time anyways as well. I've talked about it in so many videos. I love this. I'm dying for Iron Flame. The tickets for her book tour actually went on sale today and I looked like 2 minutes after they went up because I forgot and a friend texted me. They were already sold out. Some people tried getting on and literally didn't even have a chance to buy the ticket because it sold out that quickly. So, but I'm excited. Dark Witch by Nora Roberts, the perfect fall read and the romance is great. That makes me really excited. I think I actually just bought this one. Didn't I? I think I just bought this one and I bought it because it's paranormal, it's witchy, and it's good to hear that it's a romance because some of hers aren't super romance heavy. So Daisy Hates The Great Undoing, which I need to read, which I've already talked about. Daisy Hates. And then Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez is one of my favorite books of the year. It is so cute. They're both doctors. He has anxiety and she hates him when they first meet because she thinks he's trying to take her position at the hospital. And then they fall in love and it's so cute. I love that one. Crossed by Emily McIntyre. I am pleasantly surprised that this showed up on here because I really want to read this. I actually bought it. I think it's behind me. Oh, it's right here. We have Crossed right here. We got it right here. I need to read it. It is a Hunchback of Notre Dame retelling, I think, but it is a priest romance, maybe? The Off Balance series, I'm not a fan of, but I think I read it right before she republished it, but I don't love this one. It's a coach-athlete romance. Does It Hurt by H.C. Carlton? Definitely. I was not obsessed with it, but I definitely thought about it a lot after reading it because of the sharks. She cons him. She's like a con artist, and he realizes it, figures it out, and then they get stranded on an island together. There is a spicy scene involving a shark. So, I didn't love it, but it was definitely the most unique romance I've read. I almost want to do a unique romances video, chatting about just like the most bizarre romances I've read, because that would definitely be in that video. We have another Butcher and the Blackbird. Then we have the Four Horsemen series by Laura Thalassa. I still haven't finished this series. I was reading this series as they were coming out and never finished War, so I never continued on with the series, but I would love to. They're about the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. They're fantasy romances. They're really good. The 7-Year Slip is another one of my favorites of the year. I love this one. It's a magical apartment. He lived in there 7 years ago and she lives there now. It's her aunt's apartment who has passed away, and she starts falling in love with him and then meets him in real time. But he knows how everything has played out. She doesn't because she hasn't lived it yet. It's so good. The Enforcer by Avery Keelan. This one I think I did read. This one's hockey. This one's a second chance romance where she ends up being a trainer for the team and he's a hockey player, and they broke up their freshman year and I think it's senior year. Unbreak My Heart by Nicole Jacqueline. I did not love this one. I just expected a super angsty romance, and it was more like frustrating than angsty. I think that her spouse died and he has to help take care of the kids from what I remember, and I didn't love it. The Long Game by Elena Armas is really surprising for me because I've not heard the best things about this one. It's inspired by the show about soccer, Ted Lasso. I never watched that show. It makes me a little nervous because I'm not the biggest fan of romantic comedy, but I do have this. It's actually our pick for Ravished by Romance for this month, so I will be reading it this month. 6 Scorched Roses, which is, I think that's by the author of that vampire romance fantasy. Yeah, Carissa Broadbent. I have not read any of her other stuff because I've heard it's not as romance heavy, but this one has such a good rating. It's 4.29 stars and 32,000 ratings. So it's got to do with vampires. It says 6 visits to a vampire who could be her salvation or damnation, and she's been dying since the day she was born, and she's desperate to find a cure. Oh, she offers the village vampire 6 roses in exchange for 6 vials of vampire blood. And yeah, it goes on from there. Okay, so a lot of people really love this one. I'll add that to my TBR. Then we do have Here With Me. I'm assuming this is Brooke Montgomery, which I actually really like to give it 4.5 stars. It's age gap, ex's dad romance, and it takes place on a farm. So like a ranch. She trains horses and like trains people who ride horses for different competitions. And he is the farrier, so he does like the horses' shoes stuff. It was really good. We have The Love Plot, which I love. This is fake dating. He's a doctor and she's definitely more of a free spirit, and she's a professional line sitter slash party actor, and I loved it. And then Happy Place, which I have not yet read yet. I know I need to. This one I've seen mixed things on, and I don't love Emily Henry. Like, I loved Beach Read and I did not like her other two, so I'm nervous to read Happy Place. Distorted by Nyla K. They gave it a 4.5 star, but they can't stop thinking about it. And this one, I don't know what it's about, but I do know Nyla K scares me. I think that they're super, super forbidden. Oh, they are locked up in a prison. We'll see. Divine Rivals, I know people are obsessed with. I thought it was way too slow and not enough fantasy, and I gave this one 2 stars, so I was not a fan. But they are rivals, and they are war correspondents in this like magical war between the gods, and they go to the front lines to report on it. It was a little insta-love for me. Then we have Reckless by Elsie Silver, which is Theo's book. I love this one. It's surprise pregnancy, more like Secret Baby, and I really, really loved it. They had a one-night stand. She got pregnant. He didn't know. So it's so good. And he's a bull rider. So good. Slave to Sensation by Nalini Singh. I don't know if I've even read this one. Nalini Singh does intimidate me because of how long her series are. I did read this one. I gave it 4 stars, and then I didn't continue the series because I was like, this is a really long series. They are paranormal though. They're sci-changeling and they're a lot of fun. The Reaper by Runix. So this person says it's way better than The Predator. I gave The Predator... Is that the first one? I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was fine, but it wasn't as amazing as everybody was talking about the series was, but I know people love the rest of the series. They're mafia romances. Maybe I will pick it up. Almost done with the Scoundrels of St. James series by Lorraine Heath. I love this one. This is one of my favorites of the series. I think this one's the one about the kids who grew up on the streets together, and then some of them end up being like actually high class, and one of them was a girl who grew up on the streets with them. It's so good. Losers by Harley LaRue is a why choose? And that's all I know, but this has the like peeking between the eye emoji, and I'm nervous what that means. Before Us by Julie Ann. This one, I have not read either of her new releases yet. Well, I didn't read her rom-com. I don't know if I want to read that, but she had 2 releases recently that are more angsty, and one of them was Before Us. Is this the one where the wife dies? That might be this one. So I think she's a caretaker for the wife, and the wife dies, and then they fall in love. But it has a high rating, so. Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. I do want to read this one, though Megan Brandy kind of makes me nervous because I don't love her books, and I think this one's new adult, so I haven't picked it up. We also have Binding and Keeping 13, which I loved Binding 13. I agree, a book to be obsessed about. Have not yet read the next one. Longshot is amazing. I'm actually reading Blockshot right now for a vlog, but Longshot is the first one, and it's so good. Definitely trigger warnings for being in an abusive relationship, but it is a basketball romance, and I love Kennedy Ryan. Serpent in the Wings at Night, absolutely yes. Love this one, obsessed with it when I read it. It's a vampire romance fantasy, like a kind of tournament style fantasy. And then A Ship of Bones and Teeth, which I really liked. It's Karina Halley. It's a Little Mermaid retelling. It's very dark. I end up really liking this one. The beginning is very, very, very slow, but she falls in love with a pirate, and it was good. The one to like end all answers is Manacled. The way I'm absolutely obsessed with this book. I will be obsessed with this book forever. 100% agree. It's Hermione fan fiction based like on the Order losing the war and things turning into The Handmaid's Tale and Hermione being put with Draco Malfoy's family. Her having to have his baby. It's so good. Okay, I know Desiree, my friend, loves Unnatural by Alessandra Hazard. She's read it like 1,000,000 times now and actually gifted it to me. It is MM, and I think it's paranormal. She did give this for me for my birthday. I will read it. It does have a high rating though. It's 4.1 stars for 8,000 reviews, and oh, it's not, is it paranormal? I think it's sci-fi. There's a planet at war. 2 alphas have to be in a political marriage, and I think they hate each other. So people really like this one, so I'm excited to read it. Woke Up Like This by Amy Leah. Is that her new one? I'm excited. I really enjoyed X's and O's a lot, and oh, is this her young adult one though? I don't know if I want to read it if it's YA, but this one, yeah, it's YA. Should I read it? Does it read YA? I don't read YA romance at all. So, and they're planning a prom. Wait, So she's planning a prom and then she wakes up to find herself in an unfamiliar bed at 30 with her fiance by her side. Is this adult or is it YA? I don't recognize the publisher. Let me know, do I have to read this? I wasn't gonna read it because I thought it was YA, but it sounds like it's 13 going on 30 and it sounds really good. Okay, so we're gonna have to get through these. We have Forget Me Not by, I'm assuming Julie Soto, because that's the new one. Forget Me Not, not QB Tyler's. Obsessed with this one. Second Chance, Wedding Planner, and Wedding Florist Romance. It is amazing. The Royal Elite series by Rina Kent. Rina Kent makes me nervous because I have read some of her bully new adult ones and I didn't love them, but I've been seeing this series everywhere. So, and we also have Empire of Hate. Is that the same series? Rina Kent makes me nervous. So if you have a series that you love by her or a book that you think I would love, let me know. Iced Out by C. Ricky is MM, enemies, rival teammates, and they end up hooking up one night and then winning really well the next day, and then they feel like that's a ritual they have to continue doing, is hooking up between every game so they win because they're superstitious. I really liked it. We have more Daisy Hates. We have Things We Left Behind. The Wrong Mr. Right by Stephanie Archer. I have been seeing Stephanie Archer around a lot, and her illustrated covers make me a little nervous because I don't know. Oh, Behind the Net was by Stephanie Archer, which I've been seeing everywhere. I don't trust illustrated covers like that. So this one is book 2 in a series, and he's gonna make Hannah into a hot girl. Her 30th birthday looms. She has a small town bookstore, and she's never been in love, and she needs to be confident, which means Wyatt will help her. She's going to help run his social media. Let me know. I'm not like super into just like the cutesy contemporary. I need a little bit more emotion, so let me know if I should. The Right Move by Liz Tomford I'm literally reading right now, which will make you guys very excited. I am reading it right now and I really love it. It's fake dating, basketball player. It's his sister's, twin sister's best friend, and it's really good. Until I Get You by Claire Contreras is a really good, dark romance. He's a hockey player in the beginning, but it's more like they're soulmates, they're destined to find each other, it's never the right time, and she has someone that's being dangerous to her. And that's all I want to say. The Canary Cowards by Jessie Hall. I saw Jessie Hall had a new book out and I did not know what it was about. I haven't seen anybody read it, but I definitely want to read Jessie Hall at some point because she writes dark romances and I would love to read some more dark romances. Wow, it's a 4.7 rating with 668 ratings, which is a lot. Angst-filled love story. Ooh, he's a running back. And then he has a debilitating injury, so he needs to have a therapist. And I am assuming it's her. I want to read that one. Absolutely, yes. We have Haunting Adeline, which I really did enjoy book 1. The audio was really good. I gave it 4 stars. It's a stalker romance. It's very long though. And I think book 2 is going to be a lot darker, so we'll see when I read it. And then the last one I will talk about is Second Down Darling by Lex Martin, which is an angsty football romance. This one, she's been in love with her best friend her whole life, and then he gets her sister pregnant, and a few years later they end up transferring to the same college without knowing and are reunited and fall in love again. So they have a lot of baggage to work through, but I really did enjoy that book. But those are all the books that you guys are obsessed with right now, which I've seen so many that I have to put on my TBR. Like, top of my TBR, I have to read them. I'm very excited that you're loving them. So let me know if you've read these and what you're obsessed with lately. And a huge thank you to Max Monroe for sponsoring this video. Again, if you want forced proximity, coworkers who hate each other, they're rivals, they cannot stand each other, things start heating up between them on vacation where they are forced to share a rental because there was a mix-up for the entire week. Check out this book. Cannot wait to read it because I love a good enemies to lovers romance and it sounds like it's going to be so much fun. Thank you so much to Max Monroe for sponsoring this video, and make sure you check out Best Frenemies. And that's all I have. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.